Good morning, friends. It's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. On my channel, I am going through my good midlife crisis, where I am journeying through my 40s. I'm 45 now, so we're halfway through the 40 part of this. And I am working, so hard to get my poop in a group. In order to do this, I have been working on my physical, my financial, and my mental health. And today is Friday, November the 14th. And we are going to be working on my financial health. We are going to be budgeting out the money that you see above my head, $1,444.76. And we're going to be doing that in the app that you see surrounding me. This app is called YNAB. Used to stand for You Need a Budget. Now it stands for You Need a Plan. This is what I use to get my financial health in order. Y'all, it has helped me so much. I could go into raptures, and trust me, if you've watched any of my past videos, firstly, welcome back. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. You know how much I love this app because I talk about it in like every video, even my non-YNAB videos. I talk about my YNAB. If you're new, welcome. So excited you're here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you find this interesting or entertaining or helpful in some way. A lot of you I know also use YNAB, which is why you're here, because that's how I found so many of the YNAB people that I follow, is because I started using YNAB and then I couldn't get enough of it. And I started watching the YNAB official channel and all the YNABers that I could find. And so if that's why you're here, welcome. Let me know how your budget compares to my budget. Do you have like way more categories than me, way fewer categories than me? It's so personal. I love it so much. And if you're just looking for a fantastic budgeting system, consider this one. It really is amazing, especially if you are a digital cash stuffer and you leave your money in the bank, which is how I do it. Though this would work with actual cash too. There's a link in my description that will get you 34 days totally risk-free. If you like it and you sign up for it, we each get an additional 30 days for free. And if you don't like it, you just stop signing in. All that's out of the way. I said good morning. You're welcome. We'll let you take a little break there, Libby, and anybody who's joined Libby in her savings challenges. Apparently there is a savings challenge, and I can't remember the numbers. Libby will tell you in the comments. If I say good morning, she saves so much money, and if I say hello, friends, she saves a different amount of money. So apparently, ever since she told me that, I've been saying hello, friends, and I didn't even notice it until last week when I said good morning again. So you're welcome. Anyway, it's Friday, guys. We made it, and work has slowed down so much. I've been able to catch up on things. It was a little bit hectic because my boss was out of town, like at a work convention, but out of town. It was a little bit hectic for the first couple of days, not gonna lie, but she's back now and I can breathe. And it's Friday. We're getting through this. We're getting through this. Okay, what do I have going on this weekend? I have tomorrow morning, I think I'm gonna go meet my bestie and her daughters at the library where I like to go, the new library that's amazing and beautiful and has this amazing, gorgeous kids section that has like its own private playground and everything in it. Yeah, obviously it's not for me, but the girls will like it. So I think Jen and I are gonna meet over there and let the girls go through the child section of the library. And then I'll probably hang out and read afterwards for You Don't Need a Budget. I'm wading my way through that book, the You Don't Need a Budget book. I'm getting there. I went almost an entire chapter with no notes. Like I was like, this is useful information. Thank you very much. I didn't disagree with a single word she said. I don't know if I would say a single word, but I didn't disagree with most of the words, and I didn't disagree enough to write anything down. So I'm glad I'm sticking with it because this was actually very useful information. When I finally finish this book, I will make a review video of it so y'all can get the good parts without having to wade through all the stuff that I mean, I will tell you what I disagreed with because possibly you do agree with it, but I disagree. Anyway, so that's my plan for tomorrow. And then Sunday, we do not have an in-person church. So I'm going to be zooming in, and then Nathan and I are going to go down to Worst Fest. It's the closing day of Worst Fest, which is like Oktoberfest, but I think it's in San Marcos. It might be in New Braunfels. I think it's San Marcos. But it's the closing day, and so we're going to do that. So you'll see when I do my budgeting, I'm going to budget some extra money toward fun, but I'm not going to put anything into a cliche. That's the plan for this. I also, back to the library, do think that I have talked myself into doing the annual subscription for the library. It's because I don't live in the town where this library is. I have a free book only membership where I can check out books from this library for an entire year without paying anything. But if I wanted to be able to check out, if you watched any of my vlogs, and I've probably talked about it on here because I was so blown away by this library and I keep going back to it. They have a library of things with like puzzles and board games and book club in a bag and all kinds of amazing things that you can check out, but you can only do that if you're like a full-fledged member. All the digital media like Libby and Hoopla, I can't check anything out for that because I don't have this like full membership. And so I was thinking about it yesterday and I just re-signed up for the 3 month at half price for Audible. And I was like, I'm paying like $9 a month for Audible after taxes, maybe closer to 10. This is $120 for the year for the library. And I'm sure there's not as many audiobooks on Libby for Cedar Park, Texas, as there are in Audible's like library. But Audible only lets you get one a month, and then you have the listening thing, the whatever the free ones are. But you can only get one a month. This way you get, I forgot what the limit is, but I also have Cedar Park. I also have Leander, so I would have two digital libraries that I could just check out the books from for $10 a month. And then I could do the library of things as well, which I would love to do, like the board games and the puzzles. I think that's a fantastic idea. And then I could reserve a multimedia room and like go in there and like have actual quiet time. The quiet room last week was amazing, and it'll be in this week's vlog. I do put out health vlogs / mental health vlogs on Sundays. So if you're new, check those out. You'll see the library. Because I know that's what everybody's here for, is the library in Cedar Park. It really is really cool. I'm just saying. So I think I've talked myself into that. So I'm going to budget that today. We're going to create a category for it. I'm drinking my at-home coffee today. Yesterday, it was a Rebel, and I had hot coffee. I didn't have any iced coffee yesterday. This is actually cold brew, but whatever. I didn't have it at all. I only had hot coffee yesterday. What else do I have? My first car payment is going to be due since my refinancing, so we'll budget that out. And I have decided that I don't think I'm going to go to Colorado, even if my nephew and his wife change their minds back, because it's getting too close to the cutoff, and I really need to decide. So I'm going to give them until next week. So this time next week, when you come back next week, I will for sure know if I'm going to Colorado or not. But as right now, I'm thinking probably not, and that's where I'm going to take that $100 to budget for the library card out of. This is my plan. These are my plans. Think that. Oh, and if you've been here for even just the last month, you'll know I have Wild Grain, the box of like frozen baked goods box stuff that I am addicted to. They are doing a promotion right now to where if you use my promo code, you get $40 off your first box instead of $20 off your first box. And then instead of giving me $20 off of my box if you subscribe, or you can subscribe and then cancel it immediately. But if you do use that promo code, I get a free box. And that ends on the 23rd. It was supposed to end last month, but they extended it out to right before Thanksgiving. So if you were thinking about it, make sure you do it before the 23rd. Otherwise, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just want to make sure if you were thinking about it, you know that $40 off is ending on the 23rd. Okay, that's it. That's all of my updates and ramblies. I went to dinner with my friend last night. We went to Cheesecake Factory. It was so good. I don't think I've seen her since August because she has two small children. This is the one whose dog passed away. And, she's busy. She's got to take her kids to volleyball practice and soccer practice. And I don't know, her ex-wife has them signed up for every sport imaginable, and they go to a small school, like a small private school that her ex-wife teaches at. So she's always busy, always on the go, going to watch something with the girls. And that's her priority, obviously, as it should be. And so it's really hard for us to meet up. But I finally got to see her last night, and I'm so, so glad. It was so fun. And then watch next week's vlog. Watch the vlog that's going to come out on Sunday. Because as I was leaving and I like got in my car, I had a very big shock and I recorded it and I'll show you. It was like, but it was funny. Okay, for real. Let's budget. Shall we budget something? I'm going to actually try to pause and shrink myself because Wondershare did an update last week. So last week I asked y'all for suggestions of another program to use, and two different people said OSM, OMS, something. I downloaded it. It's right here. OBS. I downloaded it. I put it on my computer. Y'all can't figure out how to really use it. So I have to like sit down and dedicate time to figuring out how to use that because it looks like it's an open source program. And so I don't think it has all of the same ease of use things that I'm used to, even though I really don't like every single time this app updates, it messes something up and all it does is add freaking AI features, which I don't want. I don't want the AI. Stop. Stop it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Now I'm going to shrink myself. But anyway, the way they did it is now it's like I can only do ratio. Like it has to stay this size. So it's huge and I can't see the edges of it to shrink it down. So I'm going to have to pause so I can shrink it down. And I think I'm going to try a circle today. Mix it up a little bit. Keep it interesting. Let's see how this goes. How do we feel about circle, Becky? Let me know. I don't know. This is the first time I'm ever doing this. Okay, y'all. In true Becky fashion, I paused, fixed my picture, and then immediately unpaused, but I should have taken a drink before. So, sorry. Let's go up to the top. You'll see I have some overspending. This is because of the dining out last night, and I decided to just use this week's dining out to cover it. I don't anticipate doing anything else big. It was quite a pricey meal because I went to Cheesecake Factory. Those portions, y'all, are ginormous. Like, seriously. So we split some Brussels sprouts, and then I got this pasta dish, like 4-cheese pasta dish. They have gluten-free pasta at Cheesecake Factory, in case anybody's wondering. So I was very excited about that. I got this, it was huge. It was like $25. I was like, $25 for pasta, whatever. I'm just going to order it. I have at least 2 more meals worth of pasta in my fridge. So we'll see how that goes. And then I got cheesecake because obviously, and I thought I was going to have to get the regular cheesecake. That's all they used to have on their menu, but their Godiva chocolate cheesecake is also gluten-free. So yes, I got that. I have 2/3 of that left as well because for those of you who don't know, I am taking tirzepatide for my weight loss journey, my health journey. So I can't eat very much. So I tried all of these things and I'm like, this is huge. Anyway, giant portions. I also got a slice of cheesecake to bring home for Nathan. And so it ended up costing me $75 by the time I tipped for all of my food, which was more than I had by $27 in my budget in my dining out category. So I decided not to cover that and to just use this week's dining out to cover it. I don't anticipate any more giant meals like that. So how I do this is, let's go to weekly. Shall we do this like the way we're supposed to? This is my weekly view. If you're not familiar with YNAB, you can set up personalized views. First of all, you can set up your own categories and then organize them however you want with your own targets. Tell it how much you want to save every week or spend every week or whatever. And then you can create a view that like just limits what you're looking at. These are the ones that I fill every single week. So I created a weekly view. And every single week, I give myself $50 for dining out. Now, obviously, because I added $50 and I had an overspend, now I have $22.24 to spend on dining out this week. I do think that's going to be more than fine. I might grab something with Jen and the girls while we're out on Saturday. I might not. I don't know what their plans are for afterwards. But I have $22.24 to spend on food. That should be fine. Groceries, I give myself $100 every week. This was previously $125, but the way I made room for my Wild Grain subscription was to take $25 off the top of every week's grocery budget because I'm not buying bread at the store anymore. So that's how I justified it to myself. That's a little bit more than bread cost me, but only a very little bit more than bread cost me. because I'm gluten-free. And if you're new, I am not gluten-free by choice, though if you are, that's totally fine. But I have no choice. I can't like opt in to be like, well, I can't really afford it this month, so I'm going to go ahead and buy the regular bread. I have celiac. I have to be gluten-free. So that's my grocery budget. Ecclesial expenses. Normally, I budget $80 every single week, and that is $60 for the actual in-person donation, $20 for a meal if we go out afterwards. But as I mentioned 45 minutes ago at the beginning of this video, I'm not going to be in-person church this week. We have too many people out of town, so we're not going to bother meeting in person. We're just going to Zoom in, and after we zoom in, I'm going to go down to Wurstfest. So I've decided to not put money into ecclesial expenses since I'm not going to be there. And I'm going to add, normally I add $25 to fund money every week. I'm going to make it $50 this week to cover my price of admission and then my normal. And then I'm going to undo that. Look, there's this handy undo button. I'm going to add $50. Because I think how much are the tickets for Wurstfest? Nathan just walked in.
15.
They're $15. So that will cover my ticket. And then if I buy anything while I'm there, that's considered fun to me. When I buy food out and about at an event, I take that out of fun money instead of dining out money. So $50 should be more than enough for that. I also give myself $25 every week for coffee. And that is if I go out for coffee. Normally, I don't use that money to buy my coffee that I make at home, but a couple of weeks ago I did because I'd already spent my whole grocery budget and I needed coffee. So this is my budget. I make it work for me. And I hope you're doing the same thing because you don't have to follow other people's rules in budgeting because personal budgeting is personal. Okay, let's pay some bills. I'm going to switch back to all. This is everything in my thing. So what I want to do is I need to cover my once a month expenses. That is what I labeled my bills. I called them once a month because they hit once a month. Sorry if you hear Nathan's feeding the pups. They just got back from their walk. Anyway, so they're once a month. I pay them once a month. So I have Microsoft OneDrive, which is $10.81 a month. This is for my extra storage on OneDrive for my videos because they back up automatically to OneDrive, and this is for my Office 365 subscription or 360. I don't know what it's called. My Office subscription, my like Excel and my Word and all that fun stuff. I'm a spreadsheet junkie, so I pay for that for myself. So that's what this covers. Kia Soul, this is the first time I'm going to be making a payment since my payments lowered and the date changed. So I am now with Capital One as my auto financer instead of actual Kia. And I have to pay $437.17. That will auto draft on tomorrow, on the 15th. YouTube Premium. I do have a YouTube Premium account. It covers, I have a family account, so it covers this channel that you are watching and my personal channel where I do most of my commenting. And then it also covers, I could have up to 5 accounts. So I gave Nathan one. Nathan is my roommate, for those who are new. And, well, he's my landlord. It's his house, but whatever. We've lived together for basically ever. And so he is part of my household, and so he can be on my YouTube family plan. So I could give it to my mom as well. Maybe I'll give it to my mom. It's a good idea. Well done, Becky. Give it to your mom. Anyway, because I know my mom watches YouTube. Anyway, I pay for this. It's $24.89. This also covers my YouTube music, which, this is YouTube music. Y'all, this is how I listen to all of, you can see I kind of like this band. This band is amazing. Oh man, I love all of these. I love them all. Oh, the vaccines, those are really good. Airborne toxic event. I just got very distracted. Let's go back to my budget. So YouTube music is basically the only way that I listen to music. I don't listen to the radio. I have Android Auto in my car, so I like hook up my phone to it, and I'll either listen to the audiobook that I am currently listening to, which is right now, It's This Time Tomorrow. Y'all, it's such a good book. I just finished Midnight Library, also a fantastic book. I've been looking out. I have another book on hold at the library in Cedar Park. They had the audio version available, but I'm not qualified to check it out. My library doesn't have the audio version of that book. So, can't remember what it was. The Girl I Was, I think is the name of that book. Something like that. Anyway, that one's on hold, so hopefully it'll be ready. Maybe it'll be ready tomorrow and I can pick it up while I'm there. We'll see. Anyway, I pay for YouTube Premium. Is the whole point of that. my Planet Fitness. This is my gym membership. Y'all, I did not go to the gym yesterday. For some reason, I didn't put Planet Fitness on here on this week, but I'm going to pay it because it's going to come out. I need to add it. I did not go to the gym yesterday. I just honestly didn't feel like it. I got up, I got dressed, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna go lay back down. And so I did. And I don't do that very often. I do try to go to the gym twice a week at least, but I didn't go yesterday. And the music licensing, this is for Wondershare, the app that I use to make these videos. I pay to access their music library so that I can add music to my videos. Mostly I use that for my vlogs. I think I've only ever used that for my vlogs, but I could put them in here if I wanted to. So, excuse me, the way I do my licensing, the way I do my budget is I am paid bi-weekly. So I got paid last Friday. I did not get paid today. And then I will get paid next Friday. But because I budget every single week, I roll money over from week to week. The money that you just saw at the beginning of this video is the money that was left over from last week's paycheck. I only will pay the bills for this week because that's how my budget works. So this week goes from today, the 14th, through next Thursday, the 20th. So we are done. The next bill that you see on here is for the 21st. I'll pay that next week when you come back. It's actually probably going to show as overspent when you come back because YNAB will think it has come out already and I haven't budgeted it. But as you can see, I have the money for it. Y'all, I think that I am going to set the money aside for the library in case I decide to do that tomorrow while I am there. So I'm going to create a category group. And I think I'm going to do this under once a year because it would be an annual subscription. So I'm going to add a category, which is very simply done by clicking on this add a category button. And I'm going to call it, I'm going to add an emoji. Going to lock my screen. And now I'm going to add an emoji. I always hit the wrong button. And I'm going to look for a book. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, I like this one. A book. That's going to be my category, my emoji for this. And then I'm going to say Cedar Park Library. And I'm not going to, I don't know when it's going to be due. Well, it'll probably be November-ish, right? Since that's where, and so, okay, sorry. What I just did is I moved it down to where I wanted. I have these in the order. So this one hits in January. This is in February. These are sometime in the middle. I know my registration is going to be due in August, September. So I put these in order of when I need them in the year, just in case I ever have to prioritize. Fortunately, I have never had to do that, where I had to like hold off and not fund one. Well, at least I haven't had to do it in a very long time. But this way I would know when it was due. And it is $120. So I'm just going to fill that $120 all the way up. And that way I have it available if I do decide to do this membership tomorrow. If I don't use it or if I decide not to do it, I might wait until next week when I am for sure if we're going to Colorado or not. But I may not. I mean, I could do the $120. Anyway, it's budgeted, so now I have it. I won't add a due date to this or a target until I know for sure when it will renew. And that way I can make sure. So the way I do it, like if you look at YNAB, my YNAB is due, I need $118, and it's going to renew on September 11th, 2026. So YNAB knows that I need $118 by September 11th of 2026, and it breaks it down and it tells me how much money I have to save every week. So, or every month. So I save $8.12 every single month. And then when it's time to renew it, I will have the money set aside. But as I mentioned, if you want to try it out for free, use my link below and you'll get 34 days for free. When you sign up, you get an additional 30, so that's 64 days, totally free. And then I get a free month as well, so this would push it back. This has been pushed back a lot because a lot of you are fantastic and have signed up using my link, and so I have had quite a few free months of YNAB. But I'm never going to assume that. I'm always going to try to be prepared for it. So I have a target. That's it. That's all I have to budget out today. So this is $591.61. I am going to put into my next week category, which is right here. And this is what I will roll over to next week to be the budget, along with the paycheck that I receive next week. So plus 591.61. Also notice that I have to hit the plus button because you'll see that there's already money in here. If I didn't add the plus, it would just overwrite this. And then that negative 23.68 would go away and it would overwrite. So let me just show you what would happen if I forgot to hit the plus. So watch this number right here. Right now it's nothing. If I do 591.61, instead of being 591.61, it takes away that negative 23.68. Now it thinks I've overassigned. So I'm going to undo and I'm going to add 591.61 to my negative 23.68 so that only 591.61 shows here and I don't have any overage. That may not make exact sense, but I promise it's very logical. Unlike my work program, which is not logical at all, and you have to try to figure out their logic, this actually does make sense. This part of it, I'm not gonna lie, it's not a perfect app, y'all. It's not. There are parts of it that annoy me, but this does make sense. And it is the best. It saved me so much. Okay, that's it. That's everything I have to budget this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're watching on your app, hype me. Let YouTube know that other people should watch this video. Hype all of the small content people that it will let you. There are certain criteria, and I looked it up and I can't remember, but you have to have between like 500 and 5,000 subscribers, I think. Might be a higher number. You have to have, it's for small content creators, or maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's between 500 and 10,000. I can't remember. You can only hype each channel so many times a week, and then the video can't be more than a week old. So if you're watching this after the first week it's been out, you can't hype me. But if the option to hype is there, you should hype your favorite content creators, whoever they are. You should do it because it really does help. And there's like a whole leaderboard of people who have been hyped. Obviously, I've never been on it because they're much bigger channels than me, but it's still really cool to look and see who's been hyped, and then I can see if I want to watch any of those videos. Okay, y'all. That's it. For real, that's it. I'm going to go. I hope you have a fantastic week. Are y'all doing anything fun this weekend? Let me know. I love you so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.